I traded over Machoke, Haunter, and Graveler so that, while they were evolving, I'd get Pokemon like Charizard, Blastoise, and a Krabby so that I could... Now, while this would have been a very bad thing that would happen, I have some good news, and I'm glad that this was implemented in these games. After each trade, your game saves, so while I was worried that I'd have to redo the trades again, and stop after each trade to put the Pokemon away, I didn't have to worry about any other... So after doing a lot of trades, I took care of the Pokemon that needed to evolve via stones. I started with the Eevees I got from the other game and evolved it into a Flareon, then I evolved the other one into a Jolteon, finishing up the evolutions for now. Then there's Staryu, evolving with a Water Stone to get Starmie. Next up, Vulpix, evolving into a Ninetales. After that, I left Kabuto and the Daycare Man to level up while I handled the level up Pokemon evolution. Slowpoke was up first, evolving into a Slowbro. Now, I want to talk about something. Generation 3 introduced a rather interesting Pokemon evolution. Nincada evolves into Ninjask, but if you have an open Pokemon slot, you can get Shedinja. This was an instance where you can get some other Pokemon with different methods. And it didn't stop at Generation 3, the recent generation, which was Paldia at the time. There are methods to get an evolved Pokemon. Generation 4 had a pre-evolution for Mantine, Mantike. In order to evolve Mantike, you need to have a Remoraid in your party, and it's reflective when you look at the sprites. Even Pokemon Colosseum has a Remoraid in its model. Primeape has an evolution where you have to use Rage Fist 20 times, turning into a Ghost type in the process. Inkay evolves when you levels up to level 30 while you hold your 3DS upside down. However, in the Generation 3 remake, where they introduced a different kind of evolution, Slowpoke still evolves into a Slowbro at level 37, even though the Pokedex entry states that it evolves when a shelter bites its tail. So I feel that the evolution for Slowpoke So I feel that the evolution for Slowpoke should be that it levels up when you have a Shelter in your party, or if you are fishing in an area where Shelter can appear and Slowpoke is the lead Pokemon in your team. Or just in the team, not in the lead. However, I don't expect Game Freak to change the evolution method this far into the franchise lifetime. Anyways, once Slowpoke evolved, I handed the experience share to Sandshrew to get some levels so that it could evolve. Once it evolved, I gave the experience share to the Krabby I traded over from Leaf Green. Now, as I go through this, I want to mention the benefit to grinding this time around. If you trade a Pokemon over, the Pokemon you get from another game will actually get boosted experience, so it's a lot quicker to get the Pokemon leveled up and evolved. When Krabby evolved, Bellsprout was next, and after Bellsprout evolved, I ran back to Celadon City to get another Leaf Stone, and then evolved Weeping Bell into a Victory Bell. When Victory Bell was put into the PC, I picked up Kabuto, who was at level 13, and returned to Kindle Road. After a good while of grinding with Kabuto, I got it evolved into a Kabutok. So, all that was left, before I take on the legendary Pokemon, is to get 4 Island opened up. In order for us to get the 4 Island, we need the Rainbow Pass. To get the Rainbow Pass, we need to do another quest on the Sevi Islands involving Celio and his PC system. So after getting all of the Pokemon I needed to evolve taken care of, we head north of Kindle Road onto Mount Ember. This is a dungeon in the game that holds the final of the bird trios, but at the foot of the mountain, off to our right, there are a couple of Team Rocket grunts still lingering around even after Giovanni disappeared. We challenge them to a battle and they run off. If you were to approach them before, then they would just tell you to back off. Entering the cave, we run through and we encounter a Slugma. That's right, a Slugma. When you go through the Sevi Islands and other parts of the islands, you encounter Pokemon you couldn't before. This gives you the chance to catch as many Pokemon from other regions you couldn't, and Slugma is one of them. Going deeper into the cave, we find an area that holds different plaques, all written in Braille. Braille being the real-life writing that blind people use to read. At first, I thought it was something to decode, but it wasn't. Going past that, we enter a room and find a ruby. With it in hand, I return to Celio and he adds it to his machine. After doing this, we get the Rainbow Pass and we can finally access the rest of the Sevi Islands. We head to 4 Island next, and when we leave the building, we meet Blue. He tells us that he got a Pokemon egg and just leaves. So, okay, no battles. That's good. Now, the Pokemon egg is something I glossed over when I played it, but when I watched the video made by Lyra Made a Website, this is actually where you can get a Togepi egg. All you have to do is show the person a Pokemon who has good friendship with you, which will most likely be your starter. Additionally, on 4 Island, we can see the home of Lorelei, who is an avid collector of Pokemon dolls. But the important thing about this island is the daycare. That's right, a daycare. But there's something different about this one. Instead of just leaving one Pokemon, you can leave 2 Pokemon! Now, I'm not sure if anyone's taught you the Pidgeys and the Combees. We can leave 2 Pokemon here, and there's a chance that they will breed and produce an egg. Since I have a Ditto, and need to get some starter Pokemon, I leave Ditto and Blastoise with the daycare people and continue exploring the island. I entered the Icefall Cave, which is a really cold cave on 4 Island. You'll likely find some Pokemon here, like Dugong and the like. And you'll come across everyone's favorite bat, a Zubat! There is a new puzzle segment here in the Pokemon games, that being weak ice and sliding puzzles. What I mean with weak ice is that you can walk on an ice tile once, but if you walk on it again, you'll fall through and land somewhere on the floor below. But we need to come here for a reason, because this is where you get another HM! This time, it's the HM Waterfall, which will allow you to ascend a waterfall. I taught it to Might 9 and used the newly learned waterfall to ascend up a level and down through a ladder. When we go deeper, we come across Lorelei. She's there dealing with some Team Rocket grunts. She asks us to take on another one while she handles the others, and after I beat them, we look over and see Lorelei is showing her dominance by threatening to deep freeze them. Whew, is it just hot in here or is it just me? After that, we leave the cave and check on the daycare. When you leave 2 Pokemon and they lay an egg, the old man outside will be taking a step forward, a signal to the player that an egg has been laid. I go and put some Pokemon back into the PC so I can take Blastoise out and pick up the egg. Now, eggs take a really long time to hatch. The only thing that makes the process faster is if you have a Pokemon with the Flame Body or Magma Armor ability. Unfortunately, you can't stack both abilities to make them hatch even faster. But right now is not the time to hatch eggs. There are Pokemon in danger! But right now is not the time to hatch eggs. There are Pokemon in danger! We leave Charizard with the daycare and continue on our way to stop Team Rocket. We head off towards 5 Island. Going east into the meadows, we find some more Team Rocket grunts and we encounter a Sentret. After finding one Rocket grunt, we come across a Hopeb, and after that we reach the warehouse on 5 Island, but we can't enter it. We need 2 passwords in order to get in. I thought that I'd need to get in with Cut, but that only led me to getting an item. I go to 6 Island next and do some exploring. Going to the beach on the eastern side, we battle a Psychic Trainer. Other than that, we head down and enter another section of the island, where we can encounter hikers and some more new Pokemon. There I encounter a Wooper and caught him, as well as a... So, going around, we reach another door that has more Braille written on it, and the word on it means cut, which means we need a Pokemon that knows cut in order to open it. I leave and explore the area some more and came across a Natu. After finding nothing else, I just went ahead and taught Venus Cut and entered the area. This puzzle involves you falling down the right hole, and if you get it wrong, you come back to the entrance. The only way you can go the correct way is by understanding the Braille that's written on the monument in the middle. Or you can simply compare the amount of letters to the directions. If it's 2 letters, you know it's up. 5 letters, right. The only confusing part would be down and left, as they both contain 4 letters. Upon solving the puzzle, we get the Sapphire. Which is what I would say if some stupid scientist didn't follow after me and just snatch up the Sapphire. Really? This just happens? Anyway, he tells us the password for the Rocket Warehouse, and we have to follow him back to 5 Island. So, Rocket Warehouse. Did you enjoy the tile puzzle back in the Rocket Hideout in Celadon City? Or perhaps the Viridian City Gym? Well, then you'll love this one! There are a lot of them here, and you need to get to the room where the scientist is hiding, along with the Rocket... Commander? General? Whoever decided to take control before the events of Generation 2. So we fight a Rocket admin, one who puts their full belief in Giovanni, and after we beat her, she realizes that we fight based on our morals and such, and allows us the ability to reach that area of the warehouse again, so we can go and heal our Pokemon before we take on a harsh challenge, as she puts it. So a quick heal, we return and we battle the other admin, and after defeating him, we meet the scientist, battle that scientist, and we get the Sapphire back. But before we head back to 1 Island, we need to pick up one more thing from 4 Island. We return to the daycare, pick up another egg, the final egg we need that'll help us in completing the Pokedex. For the time being, I pick up Charizard and Ditto from the daycare and put them in the PC, just so I'm not racking up any debt or anything. After that, we head on back to one island and hand over the Sapphire and finish this great achievement. With a link made to the trainers in the Hoenn region, I return back to the Kanto. I checked that Cerulean Cave just to see if it was open, and sure enough, the entrance to the cave is open. But before we go and handle the Pokemon in there, we have other matters to attend to. The eggs that we got. I put some Pokemon away and added Magmar and the 2 eggs to the party, and what followed was a ride around the Kanto region to get the eggs hatched. I have to say, I'm really glad that this exists in the Pokemon games, because it's rather impossible for you to get your hands on the starters. In Generation 1, you'd either need to trade your friends as their Pokemon evolve, or get all 3 starters in your game so you can evolve them and get their Pokemon added to the Dex entries. Being able to have a Pokemon bred and hatched not only adds some options to competitive Pokemon, but allows you to easily fill out a living Dex. A living Dex is basically having every single Pokemon caught. So if you were to start with a Bulbasaur and evolve into a Venusaur, the Pokedex will say you caught 3 Pokemon when you only have the 1. A living Dex would involve you having Bulbasaur and its evolutions as well, and being able to breed is really helpful in getting the starters so you can complete the Dex. All you have to do is borrow a starter from your friend, get the egg, and you're good to go. I went and circled around the daycare man's place on Route 5, then went from Cycling Road down to Fuchsia City, then to Celadon, then Saffron, and back to Route 5. I checked the progress on the eggs, and it'll take some time. So instead of just circling around Kanto again, I just continue circling around Route 5, checking on the summary of the eggs from time to time. If you're trying to hatch an egg, you can look at the summary and it'll tell you if it's close to hatching or not. After a lot of running around, we finally get the eggs to hatch, getting us a Charmander and a Squirtle. So now that we've gotten our hands on the starters of the region, 2 Pokemon have laid their eyes on the world before them, it's back to more grinding! It doesn't take long, since we just need to get them to level 16, and so with a quick trip back to Kindle Road, we grind some more, and the evolution for Charmander and Squirtle is done and taken care of. So now, all that's left for us is to catch the 3 legendary birds, and the 1 Pokemon that has escaped the Pokemon Mansion. The Pokemon so powerful that it is beyond even them. Mewtwo. If you want to see how that went, I did a live stream of this on my own YouTube channel. Be sure to go and check it out. But with all that said and done, after spending so much time, effort, and Pokeballs, we finally managed to catch them all. We got every single Pokemon in the Kanto Region Pokedex, earned a diploma from the man in the Game Freak building in Celadon, and fulfilled the mission that Professor Oak wanted, along with managing to do the one thing I set out to do after watching Pokemon Origins. We completed the Kanto Pokedex. Except, there's just one thing. In previous episodes, I stated that there was a certain amount, right? That there were 151 Pokemon. But looking through the Pokedex, there's only 150. And you just need 150 to actually complete the Dex. So, where is this last one? What Pokemon is left? Ah, yes. The mythical and elusive Mew. The Pokemon discovered deep in the jungle, and was the inspiration to create the strongest Pokemon ever, Mewtwo. It's even in the name, Mew-2. But here's the thing about Mew, the mythical Pokemon. It's an event Pokemon, and an event Pokemon you can obtain in Pokemon Emerald. Back then, there was an event where you can get an old sea map in Pokemon Emerald, and with it you can go to catch Mew, if you're in Japan. In America, you'd have to take your game to a Toys R Us, and you will be given the Mystery Mew. Now, since this is, at the time of writing, 2024, the event is over, so there is no way you can get a legitimate copy of a Mew for Generation 3. That was until I came across a service. I found this when I was looking through some of the event Pokemon, trying to find ways to get them besides, from the events that came out. I even considered just getting the stuff needed to run the events in my own home, but man, those things are expensive. Stuff like the bonus disc for Pokemon Coliseum and the like. It wasn't until I stumbled upon a distribution service by a seller on eBay named MVW Gamer 427, who offers not only Mew, but other event Pokemon you likely wouldn't have been able to get elsewhere. Catch some trade fodder, unlock the national dex, and you'll be able to get Pokemon like Mew, Jirachi, Deoxys, and Celebi. I was skeptical like others would be, but he's a seller that has a 100% positive rating on eBay. There are more offers on his page than just Mew. In fact, I took the opportunity to get not only Mew, but Jirachi, Celebi, and Deoxys. MVW was very polite in his messages, helped iron out all the details, and sent pictures showing how the process was going on. If you're also like me and you want to get a hold of these event Pokemon you couldn't get, then be sure to check out MVW Gamer 427 on eBay. You won't regret it. And with that, we're done. All 151 Pokemon. We've completed the Kanto Pokedex. So, what's next after that? I guess I could do some more preparations by making a living dex. Just because I finished the game and the Kanto Pokedex, I guess we can just do a living dex of it now. But that feels like a difficult task to keep track of. Maybe if there was something I could use. If only there was some kind of tool, like a website, to help keep track of the Pokemon I have. If only there was someone on YouTube who's made a website. If only it was so easy to know who made a website. Oh well, I guess I'll never know.
Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is ZeldaMaster64, and I want to go ahead and sort of bring this old project to a close. First of all, I want to thank you guys for watching the entire series, and at least giving this a look. I know it was probably boring to hear me talk, like, super low and calm, and, you know, all of this and that, and always saying anyways before going on to the next point. I basically just read off a script while I was doing it. It was either that and stay on track, or just have my own kind of, you know, conversation and, you know, go off script, and because of ADHD and all that. I want to thank MVW Gamer again for, you know, the service he provided in getting me a lot of the Pokemon that I would have never gotten my hands on, because all of the stuff that you have to get in order to get these event Pokemon are really expensive. So thank you again for that. Also, I know I made a joke about this earlier, but please, if you guys, like, I highly suggest you guys go check out Lyra Made a website on YouTube. He goes in depth into a lot of the, like, the data and the coding for some of these games, and, you know, he makes a lot of good content. I highly recommend you guys go check him out and support him if you can. It was definitely thanks to him I was able to find out, you know, a lot of things about not only Generation 1 and 2, but also Generation 3 and above. Yeah, so go and check him out. Now, I've alluded to this while I was doing this series, but what with, you know, maybe seeing Giovanni again, maybe, you know, having all of the evolutions so far, you know, I would love to continue onwards. Like, yeah, hold on. Yes, I actually printed off the certificate and framed it and hang it up on my wall. I mean, it's no different than the other completed Pokedex certificate that I got. But yeah, I would love to do more than just the Kanto Pokedex. You know, I would love to complete the National Dex, but, you know, that's sort of a tall order to make, and there's many different reasons why it's a difficult thing to do, but for the time being, I'm gonna end it off right here. I honestly, like, don't really know where to start with this next one. But I had a lot of fun doing this series. You know, playing through the Kanto region again, catching every Pokemon, leveling them up, beating Blue, and just catching the legendary Pokemon again. I had a lot of fun. This is a series that I would wake up in the morning and actually like sit down and play, even if it was just to get some gameplay footage and all that. Of course, I've also like have a face cam and the gameplay footage as well. So if you guys want to see, you know, what it was like while I was recording the gameplay and all that stuff, comment below, and I'll definitely like get it all set up and edited. Granted, they are going to be really long videos. I mean, one video was like 5 hours. But yeah, I would definitely love to get back to this. My main goal at the end of the day is to take, you know, my Hall of Fame Pokemon, the Pokemon that I've traveled with, and carry them all the way up to Paldea and maybe even more. And that'd be really cool. So let me know if you guys want to see another video series like this. I'm gonna make another video after this, definitely talking about like some of the things that, you know, some problems that I, you know, came across while I was editing this, things that I need to change, and, you know, like something to make the videos a lot more engaging. I know some of you may be surprised that, oh, the video just instantly stopped. Well, that was mainly because I recorded my entire script and then broke them down into like 15-minute chunks. That way you're not like sitting down and watching an hour-long video. You know, that way you can just easily digest it, and it's easy for me to go through and edit some of the videos. So yeah, if you guys want to see me do this for the entire Pokemon series, it's a lot, but, you know, it's probably not as difficult as, you know, I'm making it out to be, or it's probably not as difficult as some would think. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. And also, let me know in the comments as well, like, what do you think I should do differently if I were to do this series again? You know, would I... Well... let me know what you guys think of this series. Let me know if you guys want to see some more of this and all of that. But other than that, thank you again to the people to MVW for the event Pokemon. Go check out Lyra Meta website, and go check out his website if you guys also want to do a living dex and complete the Pokedex. You know, it's a really nice tracker to use. And yeah, so thank you guys again, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.